Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. Our lecture today is titled, you know, Development and Underdevelopment. Development and Underdevelopment. Now, development is a complex and highly contested concept, that does not lend itself to any generally acceptable definition due to the multidimensional nature and multidisciplinary approach to it and the value leading attached to it. However, some scholars have tried to provide meanings, to the concept, but in doing that, some scholars have misconstrued the two concepts of development and underdevelopment. Now, underdevelopment also, underdevelopment also cannot be understood unless a deeper knowledge of what development is actually all about. So now let us look at let us try to conceptualize the concept of development. Now, according to the VI Learning 1968, development is a progressive movement, an ascension from lower to higher stages and from simple to complex situations. The simple stage refers to the state of nature in which society finds itself in the process of social evolution and division of labor, which was rudimentary, because nearly every member of the society performs similar roles and functions. Now, the transition to complex stage is where there is higher division of labor, role specification, and high social stratification system. Okay, now according to Dudley 1969, page 5, the question to ask about a country's development are what has been happening to poverty, what has been happening to unemployment, what has been happening to inequality. That if all three of these have declined, from high levels, then beyond doubt, this has been a period of development for the country concerned. If one or two of these central problems, have been growing worse, especially if all three have, it would be strange to call the result development, even if per capita income doubled. Okay, now according to Rodney 1972, now development is a many-sided process. At the level of individual, it implies increased skills and capacity, greater freedom, creativity, self-discipline, responsibility, and material well-being. Now, the process involves the development of tools, skills, and mobilization of required resources, for development, purposes. Now, let us look at a Nigerian scholar. A Nigerian scholar called Unoli, 1979, defines development as a checklist of technical artifacts. According to him, the availability of schools, hospitals, utilities are indication, road networks, electricities, boreholes, and the infrastructural facilities are indications of development. Now, comprehensively, therefore, development is the ability of man to conquer his environment and utilize it to his advantage. Now, the process involves the development of tools, skills, and the mobilization of required resources, for development purposes. Now, development is a qualitative and quantitative improvement in the entire social, political, and economic sphere of a people's life in a society. Now, let us conceptualize the concept of underdevelopment. Now, underdevelopment as a concept, okay, is neither opposite nor absence of development, but it makes more sense, to say that underdevelopment is a process in which a country has not sufficiently developed. It is good to note that every society has had a cause to experience a certain level of social progress in the process of its social evolution. But underdevelopment came up because of certain historical, circumstances. These historical conditions include centuries of slavery, colonialism and neo-colonialism, and presently globalization. At each at each of these historical periods, links were made, and we had the slavery era where humans were exchanged for European mirrors, perfumes, wines, and other assorted rubbish. Under colonialism and neo-colonialism, Africa was assigned the role of primary producers. Europe fixed the prices of the products produced in their favor. Thus, all countries named underdeveloped were exploited by others, and the underdevelopment with which the world is now preoccupied with is a product of colonial, neo-colonial, and imperialist exploitation. Okay, now underdevelopment, underdevelopment is actually, is not a natural cycle. It's not among the natural cycle of development. Now, the idea of development, follows a natural progression, from undeveloped stage to developing stage, and then it will terminate in developed, society. So underdevelopment is actually a man-made, and a truncation of the natural cycle of developmental trajectories. Okay, so in conclusion, therefore, underdevelopment and development are two two sides of the same coin. Okay, are two sides of the same coin. Okay, they are two sides of the same coin. This is because development and underdevelopment, okay, are two concepts that are dialectically opposite. Now, according to Andre Gonda Frank, okay, underdevelopment is developed, and it is synonymous with imperialism, exploitation, and plunder of one country by another. Now, it is represent now underdevelopment, okay, underdevelopment is actually the flip side of development. Okay, the same forces that actually deepen the root of underdevelopment in the third world countries are the same indices or the same trajectories that brought about development in the Western capitalist countries. Okay, so underdevelopment is actually a man-made phenomenon. It is developed. Underdevelopment is developed. Developed in the sense that, okay, the stage of imperialism, exploitation, colonialism, neo-colonialism are all stages that actually fostered underdevelopment in the third world countries. Okay, now this underdevelopment, that was actually facilitated by the Europeans or the Westerners, were, the same underdevelopment that they actually tapped or capitalized on, to bring about the development of the metropolitan countries. So what is important here is that underdevelopment is not a natural stage of progression. It's not a natural progressive stage. It is actually a truncation of a natural progression to development. Once development is actually truncated, now the result of what you have is under development. Thank you very much.